Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fireside Chat with Tawana. I am Tawana, executive producer of the Full Figure Industry Awards. So, let me just get this out the way. I remind you guys all the time, if you have not seen the previous lives, if you're not following us on social media, and you happen to fall upon us, we are hosting the Full Figure Industry Awards on November 4th, 2023 in Jamaica, Queens. You can get tickets to come to the show at thefires.com, TheFFIAS.com. And these fireside chats, we're talking to our nominees and some of our honorees and sponsors as well. And today I have the absolute pleasure of speaking to Zach Miko. You guys know Zach. Zach's face is all over the place. He is one of our big and tall models who is killing it in the industry and has been doing so for many years. We are going to
A lot
shout
of
out,
years now.
yes, we are going to shout out baby girl in the background
Yeah, if you can
because
probably hear that's little Maggie, and she's
yeah,
playing with a Hot Wheels track right now. So that's the
that's right.
sound for all the people wondering what's happening.
That's right. So we have to shout out Maggie because this is what our lives look like.
Exactly.
We are parents, we are entrepreneurs, we don't always have quiet time. So Maggie's going to be joining us today. Okay. So the noise you
Exactly.
hear, that's Maggie. So shout out to you for being daddy of the year.
I try. I mean, all I did was build the Hot Wheels set, and she's taking care of the rest. So,
So Zach, congratulations so far on all your success. How many years is this for you now?
thank you so much. I have been modeling for, if this is my eighth year, going on my ninth year. I just
Wow.
realized this the other. Yeah, I started in 2015, so it's my eighth year, and I didn't realize it had been that long. This still feels like a new career, but I mean, I definitely feel established. Definitely feel like I know what I'm doing, but
Oh, because you
it's.
are.
Thank you, but it's still, bartending was not that far away, so I can still make some mean drink. I'm ready to go back to work if this all goes away. So
I hear that. So, what got you into modeling to begin with? Because you were blowing up the industry before the Vegan tour movement even took off. So you've been
yeah,
doing this. You started the movement. You and Miguel and along with some other ones. Y'all
thank
started
you,
this movement. So what
thank
got
you.
you into it?
Well, I had moved to New York City in order to pursue an acting career, actually, and I had done print work before, but it had been for like Progressive Insurance and ESPN and Geico, and like not very fashiony or exciting. Um, But one day, my commercial agent sent me in for a casting. It turned out to be for Target. Nothing they had fit me. Uh, so I was like, "Well, this is not a very good casting." But
Right.
for some reason, they still booked me. The first shoot, they did not have the right size still, so we made it work. Little tricks behind the scenes things.
Mhm.
A lot of models know what it's like to have uh, your clothing cut up the back and pinned and held in place. And that's how we got through the first couple shoots. But eventually they got all the right sizes, and I worked with Target for many years. And then what happens was I was just working for Target. And then a couple news sources did a story about me. I was on Good Morning America and on Huffington Post and BuzzFeed and all the online ones. And then I did what was it, New York Post. And Ivan Bart, the then president of IMG Models, saw that article. He had always wanted to start a big and tall, or what they call a brawn division. At the
Mhm.
time, curve and plus size was really becoming more mainstream. It had been around for years, but this was just to give you like a timeline example. I was signed to IMG the same month that Ashley Graham was on the cover of Sports Illustrated for
Oh
the first
wow.
time. So that was the first time a plus woman was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, or the first time a visibly plus woman, I should
Right.
say. That's one thing about the fashion industry is there's a lot of uh, divisions and caveats and little markers, but it was the first time that everyone was like, That's a plus size woman. She looks amazing. She's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. It was a game changing moment because Ashley Graham and so many others, and Precious Lee and Candace Huffine and Tara Lynn just really pushed this industry more into the mainstream.
Right.
And I was there to ride their coattails, and they blazed the trail for me, and I happily walked in the door after them and started just cleaning up the trail for the men's industry a little bit.
I love it. So still, let's go back to when you were first signed.
Mm-hmm.
I know I spoke to one of the other nominees recently about the connection between modeling and acting,
Oh yeah.
because I've noticed that a lot of actors turn model and vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for you, because you were doing the I guess it would it fall into acting when you was doing the commercials, correct?
I was doing mainly commercials. I was doing some TV. I moved to I moved to New York City to pursue theater. And then I found that I was horribly outclassed by the talent that was on Broadway. And I was like, oh, I got to pivot here a little bit. And that's why I started doing more film and commercial stuff and TV stuff. I've said tens of lines on television, nothing exciting, but little like one or two liners here or there. And then started doing a little bit of commercial work, and that's how the modeling thing happened by a fluke. There's definitely a lot of crossover between modeling and acting, but I can say that I think that is also more for I don't know. It's more for like higher level. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with my career so far, but I know that acting wise, my acting work kind of like stopped when I started modeling, or like way lessened. I was kind of like when you're in the more working class level of fashion and entertainment, sometimes you kind of have to like just pick what's paying, pick what's working, and pick what to throw everything into. And I saw that there was a huge opportunity in modeling, and I felt like I was making a difference in modeling. I didn't feel like I was making a difference, playing prison guards and main characters' brothers and stuff like that. So because I really felt like when I started modeling, I could affect some change in the industry, not just for fashion, but hopefully that carry over into film as well. And I think I made the right decision so far. I'd love to get back into acting. Anyone casting out there? Well, not right now. Right now, everyone's on strike. So right now, SAG and WJ is on strike. But once the strike is resolved, I would love to come be in all of your projects.
Was your thought process when you got into the modeling, was your thought process at that time, there are not enough options? Because a lot of people say that, I got into models because there are not a lot of options for people of my size. And, I wanted to come in and, just show that there are options, or kind of like create options, pushing brands to create these options.
Oh yeah, it's definitely having in the men's industry, especially. There is very low availability of stylish, big and tall clothing. It's something that there isn't that much of. Even now, even me modeling, 8 years later, there's definitely things have changed. There's definitely a lot of mainstream brands have expanded their sizing, but it's still more few and far between. A lot of the times when they expand their sizing, they'll expand to like 3X, which in the men's, I wear between like a 2 and a 3X. Sometimes, I don't know. Sizing is weird. I literally wear from a large, tall to a 6X, depending on who makes it.
Yeah.
So on average, I'm in the 2, 3X. I'm like a 2X American, 3X European is what I like to tell people. And that's still in the modeling, in the plus size modeling world, that's considered big. But in the plus size real world of plus size people in not just America, but in Europe and all over the globe, that's not that big. That's like very in America, the average waist size is a size 40. Most mainstream brands do not make pants larger than a size 38. So it's very, very few and far between places that actually do create an extensive size range. And luckily it's changed. There was a little pullback during the pandemic
Yes.
because a lot, and it happened in women's too. I think it was Loft who pulled all their stuff back, and I worked with some other companies that I will not name, hoping they'll hire me again one day. Loft doesn't make
I
men's
hear you.
clothing, so I can throw that out there. but it's we got to protect
Yep.
protect future revenue sources of this.
Yep.
But I worked, a couple brands I worked with that had been doing what I think were amazing things in the big and tall industry, pulled it all back during the pandemic because they panicked. I mean, everyone was cutting budgets, and big and tall size extension and plus size extensions were new in comparison to what are considered the straight sizes. So a lot of brands, when they were tightening up their belts, got rid of extended sizing for men and women. We see it coming back. We see a lot of like cottage companies and smaller brands starting new things. During the pandemic, I along with King Size Direct and Swimsuits for All, started my own swim brand called Miko's, which is, I made sure I started it specifically with those brands because they were one of the few manufacturers that could make up to a 9XL, which was something that was important to me. And then we do that now. So there's smaller brands doing the thing, and even your mainstream brands, your Targets and your Gaps and your Old Navies are all starting to expand their sizes. But I feel like real change will happen when the luxury brands start making an effort to not just expand their sizes, but put plus bodies on runways, which in the men's world has started as of this last season. Tommy Hilfiger had 2+ guys on his runway in the last New York Fashion Week, and in Paris Fashion Week, there was 1 or 2 guys walking. So it's slowly leaking in. Excuse me. And I feel like that'll be when things really change, is when we're getting to the point where you see a lot more plus women on the runway. Still not enough, still not, still not proportional to, who actually is being represented, but we need men to step it up too. And this is Maggie, everybody.
Hi, Maggie.
Hey, Maggie, you want to sit up? We can answer questions with me. She doesn't have the headphones in, so she can't hear what anyone's saying, but we're here. Say hi to Tawana. Hi.
Love it. Is this your only?
She's the only one right now. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the future holds, but right now it's just Maggie. She's 3.5.
So that's the interesting thing about what you mentioned when the pandemic hit, and a lot of brands kind of like, I guess, scaled back, so to speak, is concerning for me, right? Because on one hand, it says to me that we are expendable, right? So it's like, oh, the pandemic hit. What did they think we were doing? Like, did they think that we were staying inside and we didn't want to get dressed anymore?
I know.
Like, why was the target plus size to scale back on when, more than half of the country is plus size? So I didn't understand that.
It was fashion is a very old industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's, and even as we think of fashion as so progressive and cutting edge and cool, but it's still a very, very old industry.
Yeah.
And the people at the top are people who have been there for decades and decades. And I think what they did, I don't think they thought it. They were like, I don't think it was meant to be vindictive. I didn't think they were just like, we need to get all these plus people out of here.
Right.
Now that we're really money. I think it was more just, I remember speaking to an executive once when they were saying that we don't do men's plus because our data shows that plus men don't buy clothing. To which I responded, but you don't sell plus male
So
clothing.
how do you know?
So like, I bet you a lot of people don't buy bananas from you either because you don't sell bananas. So it's just a very it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where they're just like, well, our data says no one buys it. And I'm like, but you've never sold it. So you don't
Right.
know if anyone buys it.
Right.
You have
So
no
where does
idea.
that data come from?
Yeah. It's just it's just so I think what they do is whenever things get nerve-wracking, they go right to what they think are proven revenue sources, which is
Mm,
doubling and tripling down on straight sizes. Um, and they'll I'm not saying they should not be producing straight sizes, but as you said, considering more than 50% of our country is considered plus size, I cannot imagine why you wouldn't want more. Like, why right away you're like, I decided I'm going to make this thing and I'm going to make it impossible for half of the country to buy for some reason.
right.
Yeah, I don't get the logic, but I do understand that I think it's mostly out of panic rather than being vindictive.
Yeah, I'd love to see their numbers after
Yeah.
that move.
Oh yeah, I remember I was sitting with me and Robin Lawley, who's another big pioneer in the plus industry. We were sitting down and we sat down in Australia with a bunch of executives. And I remember one of them was talking about how hard they had worked and how happy that they were that he expanded their line. And now that their men's pants go up to a size 42. And I had to like kind of stop the the meeting and I went, sorry guys. It's hold on one sec. We're talking, baby. And I was like, is sizing different in Australia, or is a 42 like, is it way bigger, or is it something? They're like, no, it's about the same as US. And I was like, oh well, that's what I'm wearing right now. So you're telling me I'm the absolute max for you. There is, you've expanded just to me
Right.
the smallest end of the plus spectrum. So it's a slow moving, but what we're seeing is the brands that have truly embraced it are seeing massive benefits from it.
Right.
And they were seeing a lot of success in these smaller boutique brands that are leaning into it. And I think it's all changing. It's all happening. I mean, I have a more diverse clientele than I ever have. My first couple of years, I was working strictly with big and tall companies,
Right.
and now I work with a lot of mainstream brands. So it's happening, but it's happening slowly.
Slow crawl.
Oh yeah,
Let's talk about this swim line.
yeah.
Congrats,
Uh,
by the way.
Thank you so much. It's called Miko's. This is actually a shirt from our first run. We're in our third season right now. And I just had a meeting 2 days ago about our fourth season, so we're gearing up. Yes, baby.
Can I have some more of your fish?
Yes, you can have some of my fish. So we have a dinner right here. Go for it.
I love it.
You want your fish is right there, baby. Here you go. I had to hide the food because not only do I have, she decided she was done eating for a second. And not only do I have a toddler, but I have a dog that walks around and steals food. So the food had to be put up high. But yes, Miko's. As I said, this is our third season. We are right now strictly a swim / beach to boardwalk / athleisure brand. And hold on one second. Maggie, let's not do the bell, please. Can we not do the bell? We can do anything else but the bell. We go up to from sizes large, tall is our smallest size. So we have big sizes and tall sizes. So the big range is from XL. These are all bottoms sizes from XL to 9XL, large, tall, and then the large sizes from large, tall to 6LT, I believe. So we serve as big of a range as we possibly could. That was always the goal. And also, we started off not with the decision not to make straight size clothing, just to focus on big and tall and focus on the guys like me who are afraid to take their shirts off at the pool or the beach their whole lives. So that was kind of our main target, and we've been happy about it. It's been really successful. I do it with King Size Direct and Swimsuits for All as of right now, and that's my main partner. We might be expanding. We're going to try to expand into other things. You can buy us on Amazon and Walmart, but it's like an e-commerce thing. So the best thing to do is to find us on King Size Direct or Swimsuits for All is the best way. And just as last year, we started doing collaborative patterns with Swimsuits for All. So that was a lot of fun. So we did, I think, 2 or 3 styles where you could buy the pattern in my Miko swimsuits, but also in women's swimsuits at Swimsuits for All. So you and your hubby or boyfriend can match and look good. And that was super successful. So we're doing it again next year. So that's all. It's exciting. It's fun. I love doing it. It's, I never would have thought that I would have had my own clothing brand. I definitely would have thought that if I did, it wouldn't have been swimsuits, but
here we are.
Exactly.
That's amazing. You have an incredible success story, and I just hope that it continues and continues and continues.
Fingers crossed.
Do you also do mentoring for up and coming big and tall models?
Yes, not as much as I'd like to. I definitely do. I always try to answer as many questions and talk to as many guys as I can. I do specifically do this for guys who have already been signed to an agency and are already starting their careers, because I think I'm sure as every other model you talk to has said, that our direct messages are filled with people asking for advice. And I try my best to do that. So like what I do is on my own Instagram and TikTok, I do advice videos, kind of like for the general public. I've written articles on how to get into plus size modeling. And but as far as mentorship goes, it's kind of like I like working with the guys that have kind of passed the first test and passed the first hurdle, and either have their first agents or have gotten their first clients or anything like that. That way, modeling is so subjective. Fashion is so subjective. Sure. I don't have a career because of my talent or my ability. Thank you. She brought me a little cup of coffee.
Sweet.
Thank you, my love. I don't have a career because of my talent or ability. I have my career because somebody random thought I could do this one day. And fashion is such a gate-kept industry that it's very hard, even for me as someone in the industry, I'm not one of the gatekeepers. So it's very hard for me to help break people in. Which is the same in so many industries. It's the same in writing. It's the same in acting. It's the same in so many creative industries. But once you pass that first hurdle, I've talked to tons of guys of like, this is what I think you should do. This is what I think would work. These are brands that I think you can look after. And yeah, it's been good. I hope I've helped people. I don't know. I've never done a full on like mentorship program or anything like that. Just because I'm working, I'm hustling. I'm still trying to make money. Like if I was a millionaire sitting back, I'd be happy to mentor everybody, but it feels disingenuous for me to be like, okay, I'm your mentor, and this month I'm working, but I don't have any gigs next month, and I'm panicking about it. And like, I feel it's still such a new industry that, again, I just do my best to help where and when I can.
So I asked that question because I talk to a lot of big and tall models, right? And one of the things that always come up is that, when it comes to plus models, right, there's tons of coaching classes and runway classes and mentorship programs, but not enough exists for the big and tall, right? There was one particular person I was talking to, and we was like, okay, something has to give. So don't be surprised, Zach, if I call you and be like, hey, we're starting this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to be a part of something that helps. I think And this is gonna sound weird. It's because even after 8 years, I see which guys have been successful and which ones haven't,
Yeah.
and I feel like I haven't cracked the code yet. So like I don't know what to tell people because I'm like I don't know. Sometimes guys that I'm like this guy's amazing, he's gonna work forever, can't get any work, and then other times I see guys booked and I'm like for real? You okay? Cool. Hey, good for him. No shade. So you never know. It's
Yeah.
but that yeah, I think there definitely needs to be. There's still a lot of mystery shrouded in the big and tall world, but I'd
Yeah.
love, yeah, no, I'd love to help out. And I try to answer every question I can. First thing I'll tell anyone listening who wants to start modeling big and tall right now, my very first piece of advice is I guarantee your Instagram is a private account, and it can't be. You have to make it. You have to make it public, and you have to put pictures of yourself, full body pictures, and somewhat modeling pictures. Everyone has a great like HD camera on their phone right now. I'm not saying you have to go spend a lot of money and hire a photographer or anything. Go with your friend in the backyard or in your house and start taking some photos that make you feel good and start putting them out there. Start interacting with other brands online that you want to work with, and it'll slowly happen. I can't tell you how to get an agent. They look for things that I do not know how to do. But I can tell. But yeah, I mean, I've recommended exactly two people to my agency in my whole career. I've taken the leap to recommend two guys to my agent, and neither one of them got signed. So I have no idea what people are looking for. It is its own thing. Scouts have professional scouts for these modeling companies. They have some sort of talent or eye that I guess I don't have, but I can definitely help people. Yeah, get some vision with brands. Definitely get comfortable in front of a camera. Definitely, I always say it's the same with the acting world. Thank you. Oh, thank you for my tea. Thank you, baby. I can definitely help people get comfortable in front of the camera. I would definitely teach the technical parts of modeling.
Right.
No problem. But I always feel like I always get worried about teaching a class or anything like that because I don't want anyone who's ever paid for said class to feel like they were gypped because they didn't get a job. Because I'm just like, I don't. In my acting world, I had a teacher who always said, he goes, you are, because I did a lot of private lessons at the T. Schreiber Studio. I was in the company at T. Schreiber Studio, and I graduated from the American Academy of Dramatic Art in New York, the oldest acting conservatory in the Western world. I'm classically trained. I've spent incredible amounts of money training to be an actor. And I had a teacher tell me once where they were like, you are doing all this work and you will probably never get a job. Or you'll probably never get famous. You'll probably never do this. You're going to work all this. What you're doing is you are honing your skills and your ability so that on that rare chance that an opportunity is given to you, you are prepared to seize it. And that's kind of the same with modeling, is you're going to work really hard and you're going to learn how to actually do the craft. So if you are given the opportunity, you can make the most of it. Because otherwise, if you don't do the work and put it in and you are presented that opportunity and you blow it because you aren't comfortable in front of the camera, you don't know how to pose, you don't know how to feel confident on set with a lot of people, then they probably won't ever call you again.
Right.
It's a one and done industry, sadly.
I'm telling you, because bad news travels fast.
Oh yeah. The only reason I started modeling is because I spent, 4 years being a classically training as an actor, where I could pretend I knew what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was certainly confident in pretending. And that was I just played the part of a guy that knew what he was doing. And I duped enough people and I learned on the go as I went. And now I think I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm quite good at it. But I learned on the job. So
you seem very comfortable behind the mic.
Thank you.
Word on the street is you also have a podcast.
And so I had a thank you. I got a free salad, everybody.
I'm. I tell you,
I'm
that
getting
little lady is
served.
making sure you
She
take
is
care of.
so good. So that's the funny thing. So I did have a podcast for many years. I had a podcast called Big Things with Zach Miko, where I interviewed people doing big things in their industry. The plan was to take a small hiatus when my daughter was born. And then I was going to get back to it. I actually had an interview scheduled for March 16th, 2020. If anyone remembers that was supposed to be the first interview for the first episode back. So the hiatus turned into we never resumed that show, because what I did was I would go to people's offices or studios and I would interview them in their homes. So because of that, I couldn't really do that during the pandemic. However, I am actually starting a new podcast. I don't have a date for it yet, but it'll definitely be out before the Full Figured Industry Awards. I'm doing a podcast with a friend of mine. It's going to be called FFIA-Side Chat. He is also a big old boy, and I'm 6'6", he's 6'8". We're both, we say, between the two of us, we have over 13 feet and 600 pounds of podcast for you guys. So that's the way we advertise it. But so be on the lookout for that. We're going to start that we've started recording. I think probably beginning or mid-August we'll start dropping our first episodes. So yeah, that's exciting.
I look forward to it. Make sure you keep us in the loop on that so we can watch it and share it out with everybody else.
Absolutely, thank you, and I definitely will. New podcasts need all the help they can get. So.
I'm telling you, I love podcasts. I love podcasts.
Oh yeah,
I
love doing it.
Podcasts I listen to. Yes.
Yeah, it's the best. It's just life comes at you fast sometimes.
Yep.
So that's why we're getting back behind the mic. And Paul, my co-host in the new in FFIA-Side Chums that we'll be coming out in the next month or two. He was on many episodes. He's a voiceover artist, insanely successful. He's one of those guys that you've heard his voice 10 million times and don't know where. So he's on my old one a couple times. So we have a great rapport. It'll be a lot of fun. So
nice. Good. We look forward to it. So one of the things we did not mention, I told you guys that Zach is one of our nominees in the Big and Tall model category. So Zach is also a previous winner.
I am. I definitely am for everybody. I won in 2021.
Yes.
So
congrats on that.
In a place of honor up here. Definitely.
I love it. I look forward to seeing you again.
I know, it'll be fun.
Yes, this is going to be fun. So again, if you guys are not saving a date, November 4th, save that date in your phones and your trusted little smartphones. Put it on in there.
Whatever you're using to track dates nowadays.
Whatever it is.
Your Palm
if you
Pilot,
still use a calendar, I'm not mad at you. Just put the date in there.
Exactly.
Get your tickets, thefires.com, THEFFIAS.com, and be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, the Full Figure Industry Awards across the board. Zach, be sure to drop your handles as well. I'll be sure to put it in the description as well so people can click on it. But tell them where they can find you, Zach.
You can find me on all of this, not all of them, but a lot of the social medias. At Zach Miko, ZACHMIKO. I somehow have the handle across all of them, and I'm very happy because it makes my life easier. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads. That's new. My Twitter exists, but I don't use it, so I don't know how much longer that'll be there. So
I know.
I don't know how much longer Twitter will be there, but that's a different story.
That part.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys. It is officially game time.
All right.
Woohoo! So here is what is going to happen. I am going to ask Zach some random.
Put this in there.
4 questions. I'm picking a card, any card from the deck.
Awesome.
Let me put these back.
Wait, stickers. My eyes stickers.
And, feel free to say, you know what, I don't know. And we'll move on. So it's 4 questions.
Okay, we'll
Uh,
see. I don't like saying I don't know, but if I truly don't, I'll try.
I don't like saying I don't know either. So, first question.
Mm-hmm.
What does the abbreviation VIP stand for?
Very important person.
Because that's you.
Oh, thank you. No, I just worked in hospitality for so long that I was like, usually,
And I'm sure you've been VIP on many occasions.
Oh my God, like maybe a couple times, but not really. Usually I'm just the bartender being told I have to make the VIP drinks before everyone else's.
That's funny. Okay, second question. Joe DiMaggio was married to Marilyn Monroe and was a sports legend. What sport did he play?
Oh, I'm a Yankees fan. He played baseball.
Absolutely.
You're
doing good here.
I tried, and he played for the Yankees, I believe. Oh my God! Yes, he did. I'm not making that up.
I can tell you.
I sometimes confuse him and Yogi Berra, so I really hope I didn't just make a fool of myself.
Well, I wouldn't be the one to correct you because I don't know. All right.
I said it with such confidence, but now I'm like,
I know, right?
Oh no, is he not? Yeah, he was the Yankee Clipper. That's what I thought. Yeah, he worked.
Well, there you go.
He won 13. Him and Yogi Berra both won 13 with the Yankees. Okay, good. I panicked there for a second.
All right. What was the Italian dictator Mussolini's first name?
Oh my God, Benito.
Okay,
right? Benito Mussolini.
Sure is.
Thank you. My mom made me read a lot of World War II stuff. That was like her little very strange hobby growing up.
Well, it's a good thing she did. Right. Okay, final question.
Okay.
By what name is William Cody best known?
William Cody. Is that Buffalo Bill?
It is.
Damn.
I mean,
that was a guess. That was a shot in the dark. But I was like, I think I've heard that name. I think, yeah.
Good. 4 for 4. I love it.
Hey, I try. I'm great at bar trivia.
So far, you're the only one that got all the questions correct, I think.
Very nice. I was able to say that Joe DiMaggio played baseball, but I did almost mess up. I was like, I think I owned a Joe DiMaggio jersey when I was a kid. I'm sure I did. So
good for you.
That was just like a brain fart panic where I said it so confidently, and there's that little part in the back of my head that's like, you might be not right about that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, look that up.
Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's super famous for being a Yankee, but I could be wrong. So
I thank you so much, Zach, for joining me.
Thank you
as well.
Oh yeah, she's happy. Maggie, everyone says thank you.
Thank you.
She said thank you.
I love it. Adorable. So you guys, again, make sure you save in the date, November 4th. Come out and see who is going to take home the trophy for the big and tall category. Thank you again, Zach, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love the Full Figured Industry Awards. I love that you guys are giving recognition where no one else is. So it's always exciting to be a part.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, everybody. This concludes our show for this evening. Once again, I appreciate you, and stay tuned for more Fireside Chats. If you haven't watched the previous ones, please feel free to go back and watch it. And then do me a favor, hit the subscribe button for me, and we appreciate you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Dad, Mom's here.
Mom's here. That's good. Just in time.